Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Todd Burns here, and I'm just going to bring my first tutorial on how to create a YouTube background. This will probably be a series of videos, and in each video I'll tell you, some cool features you can put on it. So this will be just part one. Alright, the first thing you're going to need is a YouTube template. You can search on YouTube for many YouTube templates, but yeah, once you have one, you're just going to file open, and you're going to try and find it. So I've got them right here, and I've got a whole selection of them. In this one, we'll just be using this one, very basic. So we've got this, and I've got lots of rulers on this, so I'll just clear them. And sometimes you'll get them with these boxes like this, so you just want to shift and hold and make sure you click on one, hold the shift and click the last one, right click and rasterize layers, so they all become like that. If they're already like that, you don't need to do that. Okay, the first thing you probably want to do is create a background color. There's many ways you can do this. You can just use a paint bucket, the paint bucket tool, and any color you want. So let's say if we use red, make sure you're on the background layer and click it. Now I don't like that. Personally, I don't like that. What we're going to do is double click this, and you'll see this selection come up. Go to gradient overlay, and you'll see a gradient appear. What I like to do for backgrounds is change the style to radial and reverse. You don't really need to click reverse, but whatever. I change it the scale to 125, and I actually hold shift and I move it up a bit, about there, and I change the colors. So I'll be using a white, sort of light grey color, to a medium grey. Okay, that looks reasonably good. I like that. And you'll see that it's effects, but it still says it's a red layer. So you want to duplicate the layer, and you want to click on that, hold shift and click on the other one and click Control E, and you'll see it becomes this gradient background now. What did I do? Oh, I did something. Alright guys, I'm going to pause it. I accidentally did something, and I'll be back. Alright, now what we want to do now is do something about these boxes. What I like to do is add some either gloss or a faded light. I'll show you both of them. So with this big square, which is selected, don't worry about the color. I don't know what happened. It's turned to like a grayish kind of color, although when you do that it's all blue again. I don't know, but anyway, be selected on this layer, create a new layer, hold the Alt key and go in between these two, and you'll see two bubbles appear, and you click that and it'll become a clipping mask. And if that doesn't work, you right click and create clipping mask. While on this layer, you want to get the elliptical marquee tool, and you can either zoom out for this, you don't really need to, but whatever, and just highlight over it like that until what you like. So that looks pretty good. You want to get the gradient tool, set your mode to white, and click the white to transparent one, and make sure it's set to linear up here. Gonna click and hold and drag down until you get this kind of effect, and deselect it, and you'll see it's like a gloss, but that's way too bright, so you can just turn the opacity right down, and you'll see that you got quite a nice effect. And you also might want to change the colors of the boxes. So for this, I'd probably use a dark grey. And oh, what is happened? Whoa. Okay guys, I will be back. This is becoming a real problem. Alright guys, somehow I fixed it. I don't know how I did it, but I fixed it. Now, we were at the time where we're going to get a color and click and click and click. Alright, Now that is the glossy effect, and I personally don't like that, so we'll make a different one, make a new layer, do the same thing with the clipping mask. We're going to get the brush, make sure it's set to white, and make sure it's set to this first brush. Around about 800 is a good size. Okay, now you want to zoom out and you just want to brush over it like that. You want to make sure it's quite even too. So it doesn't matter how deep you go, because you can just move it up. So it looks pretty good, and you just want to move it up. So it's about that. You can zoom in again, and then you just turn the opacity down. And then what you can do is you can duplicate this layer 3 times. Right? And hide one of them, and just drag this in between these two, make that a clipping mask, and move that down, and you'll see it in a minute. See how it makes it over this one now? And then you can open this one, drag this in between that, make that a clipping mask, and move this one down. And you see it makes a very nice effect. I quite like that one better than the gloss. Now, you want to merge these, so click one of them, hold shift, tap the layer that the brush is on, and then click Control E to merge. Oh no, hang on. And then you just click this one, and do the exact same thing. Hang on. There you go. Alright, that was a struggle. Okay, now we want to add some effects to these. Just got to see the time. Alright, that's fine. Double click. What I really love is drop shadows. I love drop shadows. So, we're going to make that 100. Doesn't matter about the angle too much, but if you want, you can make that 90. Don't really need to though, because I'm going to make the distance 0. I changed the spread to 12 and the size to 12. I then add an inner shadow, and I use the exact same, except with the choke and the size, I use 10 and 10. I then add a stroke, and I change it to center, the size 2, and change the blend mode to screen. And that should be fine. If you don't, so I'll just zoom in for you so you can see it better. So you see it's got quite a nice effect doing it this way. Otherwise, you can change the stroke so that it's a gradient, and change the angle to 90. And I would also change the blend mode to normal. So then you see here, it's got like a gradient stroke over it. So it looks a little bit metallic, if you like it that way, but I'm just going to change it back to the way it was before. Now, to make this a lot easier on us, you just right click this layer with the effects on it, copy layer style, and paste the layer style on these two here. So it just makes it a hell of a lot easier. And now all the boxes have this effect, and just like 100 times easier than doing it over and over again. I just remembered something you could do to the background, which I love doing, is adding a pattern. So you can actually make your own pattern, and I'll teach you right now. So you want to click Control N, and you want to make it pixels, and you want to set it to 10 and 10, and click OK. And you'll see here that you've just got this box, and if you keep zooming in, you'll see little squares, and you want to get the rectangular marquee tool, drag only one line of pixels, and fill with black. And just keep doing it to every second one. So black, fill, black, fill, black, fill, black. Once you've got that, go to Edit, Define Pattern, and name it whatever you want, although I've already got this pattern. And you double click on the background layer, go to pattern overlay, and then choose your pattern. Now, you don't see much difference here, but I moved the opacity a bit lower. If you zoom in, I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but there's actually little lines. So, you know, it looks pretty cool. It's called the scan line pattern and is quite popular, and I love it. Otherwise, you could use another popular pattern like the hexagon pattern that you can download off the internet, like that, or you could use like a checkered one like that, or, you know, just other metallic ones that look pretty cool. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to stick with the scan lines, and I'll change the opacity to 30. Okay. So I think that'll be the end for this tutorial, guys. Stay tuned for more of them, and next one will be about this again, and we're going to add more effects to this. So stay tuned, guys, and I'll see you soon.